welcome to Lady in Waking. If you've never been here before, my name is Ashley. I'm 47, I'm a pop culture geek and a vintage enthusiast, and I've been trying to kind of hone my vintage style to match my age. I feel like that's been a challenge for me, so I thought any of you who might be facing the same challenge or just enjoy vintage techniques in general might enjoy this channel. If you like what you see, please comment, rate the video, and subscribe, and that will keep the videos coming. You'll see a lot more short form videos here than long form, but today what we'll be talking about is 1940s styling and how it suits potentially any age. So the style that you see right now is an example of a very coiffed, smoothed, shaped 1940s style, which was very, very common because in the 1940s, generally hairdressing was a lot more elaborate and a lot more molded in order to really, really shine in the face of clothing being rationed and things like that. People couldn't even afford stockings. It was a very, very challenging time in history when it came to fashion and appearance. But the women, what they would do during that time period is make up for it by really, really styling and doing elaborate hairstyles. That's when you saw victory rolls and other barrel curled hairstyles. Very, very bold poodle styles were very popular in the 40s. And in the 30s, whereas curls tended to be a little bit more frizzy, in the 40s they were a lot more shaped and a lot more smoothed. So this is an example of a more retro, authentic, vintage 1940s style. However, I have discovered in my 40s that I tend to think that this type of style, even though it is very sophisticated, makes me feel a little older. And back when I was in my 30s, that was fine. But now that I'm in my 40s, I want something that is a little bit more, maybe a little bit more casual, a little more blousy. That was also something that was done in the 40s. If you'll notice in film, especially when ladies were dancing, their hair was very styled and very coiffed at the beginning, and then it would shake loose and become something entirely different by the end of the performance. And that was what I loved, was that loose 1940s wavy style. So I'm going to show you how to go from this to a more blousy casual look that might be more suitable for your age if you're in your 40s, or if you just like the more casual style anyway. But yeah, we started with a very, very tight foam roller set, and you'll see that in the video, and then you'll see how that just allowing the set to relax can really, really change the appearance of the set over time and give you a little bit more of that casual 1940s look. So stay with me and I'll see you on the other side. So I started by rolling my hair last night in pillow rollers, or sponge rollers on the bottoms rather, and a little bit, those little teeny ones in my bangs, and then a few of the bendable rollers on the top just to prevent any crimping from the clamps. And that's generally the set that I use when I'm going for a 1940s style, is foam rollers on the bottom and bendable rollers on the top. And then I'll just comb it through with my fingers and just kind of loosen it up. And then I'll take my Denman styling brush and start brushing. And brushing is, of course, key to any 1940s style, or really any vintage style at all. Sometimes there are 20 to 30 minutes of brushing per set, and it just really depends on your hair type. And I'm going to make sure that my part is nice and deep. I usually like to put it over the arch of my eyebrow for a 1940s style. And then if I find a wave that I like the placement of it, I will go ahead and put a clip there just to make sure it stays in place during the remainder of my brush out. My bangs were rolled into a smaller curl so that I could blend them in with my style, and so I'm just bobby pinning those back and then placing a wave over the top. And you'll see me kind of rearrange these clips as I'm brushing, but basically it's just going to make sure that the waves stay in place while I brush curl into the bottom of the hair. And then I'm going to take my shaping brush, which is my curl shaper brush from vintagehairstyling.com, and I'm going to wrap it around my fingers as I brush it. The more you do this, the more shape will come into the style. No matter how much frizz is present when you brush your hair around your hands, it will generally bring it back into a nice smooth curl, and that's exactly what's happening here. There's a little bit of frizz along the edges of this set that might just be an error in the way I rolled it, but usually you can get past that pretty easily with the brushing because the ends of the hair are going to be hidden underneath. I'm going to do the same thing at the back, and then I'm going to take out the clips and see if there's anywhere else that I want to maybe form or shape a wave. But you see that it just kind of creates this very smooth, very shaped, curled hairstyle. It definitely has a silhouette to it that is very round and very captured. There are no loose pieces. It is just a very contained hairstyle. So a couple of hours have passed and my hair has relaxed a whole lot, so now I can create what I would call a more casual version of a similar style. And this is more my personal taste, just because I feel like it's a little bit more youthful, and I also like that it's not as much upkeep. If you are out and about, it's a breezy day, and you've got that nicely molded hairstyle, it looks great for a while, but unless you just have tons of hairspray on it, it will definitely start to fall apart and you will have to reshape it. So this way you don't have to worry that much about it, and you can just kind of run your fingers through it and it still stays nice. The curl is so sturdy that it's not going to go anywhere. So you can have the similar style, and you can brush it as much as you want and let it relax as much as you want, and it won't go completely away. So I'm going to do away with this more harsh front feature and do something a little looser. And I usually start pulling the curls down as much as I can to get more length into the style. And you'll see that already it looks completely different. It looks a little longer, and it looks quite a bit longer. And it also looks a little softer, like more of a wave instead of a curl. I apologize for my top. This is my workout top. I rarely ever get dressed for videos anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and pull as I brush. Just pull hard. It's going to give it the wave. Instead of the curl. And I like these little loose pieces that hang out and give it a little bit more like a freeform quality. And I'm going to let the top portion fall over my forehead. And there you go. Hopefully that was helpful if you are somebody who is kind of wrestling with the idea of wanting to go a more smooth coiffed style and something a little bit more loose and casual. Again, both styles work well for evening, both styles work well for daytime. There are no rules. It's just a matter of what you feel more comfortable in and what makes you feel better. So thanks again for your continued requests. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time.